On this episode of the Tiny Home Adventure, we install a mobile Wi-Fi solution. Kicker and I play a little fetch before hitting the road north. We wake up at 4 a.m. to catch sunrise, but Liam falls in the lake and almost drops his camera in the water. We take a ferry and find an incredible campsite. And I go for a surf session in northern Washington before the wildfire smoke moves in. And more. After 2 years of building the expedition vehicle of our dreams from the ground up, the time has finally come to hit the road. Watch as Kicker, Ashley, and I push ourselves to our physical and emotional limits, put our relationship to the test, and overcome unforeseen obstacles. Our goal is to spread positivity while learning from some of the world's most inspiring people. Welcome to Season 3 of the Tiny Home Adventure.
Super exciting day. We're about to install some Wi-Fi in our vehicle. Working from coffee shops is impossible right now because most of them are closed. Also, we just don't want to expose ourselves or other people to that kind of work environment. So we worked with Mobile Satellite Technologies and got this mobile router that works off of cellular connection. It's unlimited, high-speed Wi-Fi. And apparently it's pretty dang good. One of our friends has it, and he claims he plays Xbox Live with his brother from a bus. So basically the components are pretty simple. There's the router, there's an antenna, and this mounting bracket. Pretty simple. So the challenging part is to run all these wires from the roof into the cab. So what we're gonna do is mount it to the corner of our roof here, run the wires through this sneaky electrical chase, and then mount it back here, which there's usually a board here, but we already took it off to sort of see where this will all fit, but it's just gonna live right in there. Hopefully this comes together easy. I think it's going to. Really looking forward to having Wi-Fi. It's a huge limiting factor for our productivity, where we have to be to get weekly episodes uploaded. So if you're following along, you know we're producing a ton of content, and it's hard to find good Wi-Fi. So I'm hoping this will up our productivity and our efficiency by a significant margin, and yeah, looking forward to it. Let's go. So I have to punch through the roof rack to free the solar panel to access our waterproof box so that the antenna cables can run into the cab of the vehicle without causing problems down the road. So I'm gonna go drill some holes. It's a bit of a... I basically have to get all these wires through a hole that has absolutely no room right now. So we're drilling a new hole. I'm gonna use this rusty 1-inch paddle bit. It's gonna do a great job. Super clean hole. No worries.
I tried to run the cables all at once, which ended up being a big mistake. After sorting out this rat's nest, we started to pull the cables into the cab. The next morning, we finished up the install and officially have high-speed Wi-Fi.
So we got the actual router installed here. This is our WeBoost. It seems to work, but not for Wi-Fi. So I'm just getting the power cable somewhat sorted out here. We are hardwiring this into our 12-volt DC.
This is honestly a huge improvement in our productivity and overall quality of life, as lame as that may sound. Not having to stress about finding good Wi-Fi to upload these episodes is really a game changer for us. If you want to learn more about this Wi-Fi solution, click the link in the description.
So yeah, we just spent, I don't know, it probably took us like 4 hours in total. Yeah. With the external antenna and everything else, and installing the unit and hardwiring it in. And let's see, the freshest episode. Oh, it was like that. Bam, bam, I hit the button and it's in.
Before leaving Hood River, we wanted to get one last kite session in and get Kicker a little exercise before the drive. I think kite fetch could be a new sport. What do you think? Kicker loves just hanging out on shore with the wind in his hair. Later that afternoon, we drove to Washington to wake up at 4 a.m. for a hike.
Doing it. Yee-hee.
We hustled up the trail in hopes to catch sunrise at Kolchak Lake. In our haste, we missed the turnoff for the correct trail and ended up at Stewart Lake, which was still stunningly beautiful.
So we had it's early still. We had a 4 a.m. wake up call to get out to this lake for sunrise and just barely made it here. Ashley kind of suffered on the way. How are you feeling?
I'm good now that we're here, but there was a lot of uphill. My knee was bothering me, but Andrew graciously lent me his ski pole.
Yeah, I'm an old man, so I hike with hiking poles now, but they're sweet. I always used to make fun of people that hiked with hiking poles. Anyways, the spot's sick. Liam, what just happened?
Well, I was coming down this rock, which shouldn't have been very technical, and I decided that I was going to try to hold my camera up and slide down, and I saved the camera.
Save the camera.
Phone will find out in a couple hours whether it's good or not.
Yeah, here, if you want to toss me your phone, I'll throw it in a dry pocket.
But
you alright?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Gonna be made fun of for this one for a while. I don't know if you were watching me, but I was like trying to just like not scrape my camera down the rock.
I watched. I wish I had filmed it.
Yeah.
You okay?
Oh no, I'm totally fine.
That still sucks.
Do it for the shot.
I couldn't let Liam have all the fun and jumped in a few times as well.
So we made it up here. Now everybody is snoozing. Clouds are rolling up above. It's a really great way to spend a morning, waking up at 4 with a little nap on the beach, which is just stunning.
After the fast hike out, we made it back to the roamer. Dogs were not allowed on the trail, so we had to leave Kicker behind.
Oh, there he is.
Please know that he had plenty of water and the roamer stays nice and cool.
So we had an awesome time in Leavenworth. Now we're heading up towards the Olympic Peninsula. Kicker wants to be star of the show, as always. But we're taking a ferry. I've never been on a ferry in the roamer. It's gonna be pretty fun. Ashley, what do you think?
I've never been on a ferry in a car before, so I'm really excited for this. I'm excited to see what it's like, and I feel like, oh, this is Kicker's second ferry, so.
Yeah.
He's a pro.
Awesome.
He knows
Pro
what to
dog.
do. We got this. It's like 15.6 or 16 foot. We're on the Spokane.
What do you think? This is rad.
This is so cool.
Oh, Kicker's
It's so
gotta
weird
be
to,
in the shot.
Feel being in the car, but also feel like the waves and like the boat moving. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
it's super trippy.
Kicker's enjoying it.
So we just made it across the ferry into a place that none of us have ever been to. We don't actually have an end destination in mind. We're like searching on our phones now. Like we're here, we're like, where do we find camping? So we're just trying to find a place right now to post up and spend the night. And we've got a few plans for like the Olympic Peninsula, but we've got a ways to go before we're there. So that's, you know, people always ask us how we find camping. It's just the same as everybody else. A little bit of research on the phone.
After scouring Google Earth and the internet, we found this incredible spot.
So this spot's absolutely insane.
Sometimes it's hard for me to just slow down and really take in these places that we are lucky enough to visit.
My dirty little dog.
I decided to do a little yoga with Kicker, eventually noticed a family of otters that were hunting, so I ran and grabbed my camera in hopes to capture just how special this place was. After a few hours of editing, Kicker and I got out on the stand-up paddleboard for sunset. So grateful for moments like this.
So we just got to the Washington coast, pulled up here to this incredible beach. Look at Kicker's big, silly smile. I know, you're so excited. Okay. Yes, very excited. Very, very excited. So I think I'm gonna go surf with Liam. I don't know where Liam went, but that's the plan. And hopefully we catch some waves. All right, sick. Are we gonna get pitted or what?
That's right, pitted every day. Ow!
Too fast? What? Ash, have you ever been here before? No. I was here once back in season 1, briefly, just for one sunset. Surf time!
The ocean temp on the northern Washington coast this time of year is around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm wearing a full 5'4" wetsuit. That means 5 millimeters of neoprene on the chest and 4 millimeters on the arms and legs. I'm also wearing booties and gloves, which all together keep me nice and warm in these frigid conditions. The only surfboard I have right now is designed specifically for kite surfing and is pretty challenging to paddle surf. That's at least the excuse I'm going to use for my lack of catching any decent waves. There's something so refreshing about just being in salt water. We have been really lucky that our route has avoided all the major wildfires and smoke that have been decimating California, Oregon, and Washington up until now. All of a sudden, a massive cloud of dark smoke pushed its way north and totally eclipsed the sun before sunset. I had a visceral reaction and started to feel panicked alone in the water. For the first time in my life, I thought as though the world might actually be ending. What a year 2020 has been. My heart goes out to all of those affected by the wildfires. I took a few minutes to reflect on how grateful I am for the people and the experiences in my life. I hope and wish all of you watching are happy and safe. Please know you are loved by the Tiny Home Adventure crew, and if you ever need anything, please reach out.
So that was an absolutely wild week. We've been going just non-stop. It felt really good to hit the road north up towards the Olympic Peninsula so we can start rounding our way back south. It's fun getting in the water, playing kite fetch with Kicker. Just had like the stick with me and I'd like run it out and he chased me around. It was super fun. I think Kicker loves to do that kind of thing. After we left Hood River, we headed to this hike up by Leavenworth, Washington, which is super cool. We're walking around and Liam's like navigating this rock and I can just hear his shoes like shh, and then big splash, and he's got his camera in his hand, so he's like treading water with his camera above water and his head keeps kind of going under, and I just keep yelling at him like, watch your camera, like you got it. And finally he gets ashore and hands me his camera, like totally embarrassed. It's pretty funny.
Oh, I was so embarrassed. I was actually intended to slide down because I couldn't I was trying to save my camera so much that I couldn't like use my hands to come down this rock. And so I thought, oh, I'll just slide down and I'll be able to catch myself. well, it went straight into the water and there was no catch, and it got really slick right around the water. And so, yeah, I fell in. The chafing was pretty bad and pretty embarrassing. So.
And it was funny because I was with them. I stayed back on the other side of the lake to like just rest and take a nice like few minutes to myself. And all of a sudden I heard like a giant splash, and I was like, "Who's jumping into the lake at 7 a.m.? Like, this just seems crazy." And it was Liam.
And then we headed up and we had to get on a ferry, which was pretty wild.
Yeah, it was so fun taking the Roamer on the water for the first time. I've never been on like that big of a ferry with that big of a car, so
Yeah.
It was awesome. And the sun was setting just as we were like getting off the ferry, so it was just beautiful.
Yeah, the Roamer's now amphibious, by land or by sea. So a lot of people ask us how we find camping, and there's no real secret to it other than looking on Google Maps, doing some research online. There's an app called Campidium or something that we use. It's not an ad, it's just a resource that we use. And then
iOverlander is one too.
iOverlander, that's really good.
I think freecampsites.net is another one that's good.
So we'll spend, you know, an hour plus sometimes just like trying to find camping. Sometimes we get lucky, sometimes we don't, but it's always an adventure. But that campsite was so rad. We just kind of like rolled up on it kind of late at night, woke up in the morning. It was just like stunningly beautiful. I didn't catch the entire family of otters, but there was like 6 otters, and they would just dive down, pop up with fish in their mouth. It was so rad.
He didn't wake me up for it, and I was so upset. I woke up later, and he was like, "Yeah, there was otters out here all morning," and I was like, "That seems like something important that you should wake me up for."
With COVID, all of the native reservations are closed, and the northwest corner of Washington has a lot of like big native reservations and communities, so we kind of skipped like the very most northwest corner, Nia Bay and La Push, and we ended up at a spot called Ruby Beach, where I hopped in the water to go surf with Liam.
That was sick.
It was rad. It was so beautiful. It had this beautiful light, and then all of a sudden I was in the water, and I was the only one in the water at this point, and this just black wall of smoke moved in, and it was so freaking scary. Like, it just felt weird and ominous and wrong, and I had to paddle in because I was like kind of freaking out there. I just like didn't feel safe. I was worried about Liam, Ashley, and Kicker, and yeah, I just kind of had this like really humbling moment, and it just like the reality set in, and you know, I feel so bad for all the people that have like lost their homes, or you know, lost their lives, or you know, whatever it may be because of the fires. And yeah, just super heavy, but we're really grateful for being on the road, and you know, not having gotten caught up too close to the fires. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching and tuning in. We really appreciate it. Make sure you leave a comment with your favorite part of the episode. Make sure that you've subscribed, hit that like button, and if you're interested, join our team on Patreon. We have all kinds of rad exclusive content and merchandise available for our Patreons, and that is how we are making the wheels turn for the Tiny Home Adventure. So Tiny Home Adventure is completely unsponsored at the moment, so if you're interested in supporting the team, if you've ever learned anything from something we've posted, or you've been inspired to go live a cool life, join us on Patreon. We'd love to have you on the team and keep doing what we're doing. The only way it's possible is with you, so lots and lots of love. We hope that you all are safe and happy, and let us know if you ever need anything. All right. See you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Kicker, are you just breathing heavy? Are you just a heavy breathing dog?
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah.